All right, so that dreaded check engine light popped on, and the code scanner spits out P0720. Now, that sounds super technical, maybe even a little scary, but don't worry. In the next few minutes, we're going to break down what this code actually means and give you a solid plan to get your car running right again.
You know that glowing light on your dash? That's your car trying to talk to you. And this code, P0720, is its specific message. It's pointing right at a communication problem in your transmission. And the good news? It's a message we can totally decode together.
So what's the deal with this code? What's your car really trying to say? Let's go ahead and translate P0720 from that confusing mechanic speak into plain English so we know exactly what's happening.
Okay, so the official fancy name for P0720 is Output Speed Sensor Circuit Malfunction. What does that mean? Well, in simple terms, the computer that runs your transmission, your TCM or PCM, is getting really bad information from one of its most important sensors. The signal it's receiving is either jumping all over the place, it's not there at all, or it just makes no sense.
And here's the thing, the job this sensor does is actually pretty simple, which is kind of cool. The best way to think about this output speed sensor, or OSS, is like a dedicated stopwatch. Its only job, all day long, is to time how fast a specific part in your transmission is spinning and report that speed back to the main computer. That's it.
So why does that stopwatch data matter so much? Well, without it, your car's computer is basically flying blind. It needs that speed information for literally everything. It tells it the perfect moment to shift gears, it tells your speedometer how fast you're going, it helps with fuel economy, and it even shares that info with critical safety systems like your ABS and traction control. It's a big deal.
See, this isn't just some random number on a scanner, right? This communication breakdown causes very real and often very obvious problems with how your car actually drives. So let's connect the dots between the code and what you're probably feeling behind the wheel. Does any of this ring a bell? Maybe your speedometer is going nuts, jumping around, or just stuck at zero? How about really harsh, jerky shifting? Or maybe your car feels like it's stuck in just one gear. That's called limp mode, a safety feature to stop more damage from happening. You might even stall out when you come to a stop, or see other lights like for your ABS turn on too. These are all classic P0720 symptoms.
Okay, so we know what the code is and what it feels like. Now let's play detective and hunt down the real culprits. And the great news here is we're going to start with the simplest, most common causes and work our way up.
The path to figuring this out is usually pretty straightforward. You're always going to start with the easy stuff first. Low or dirty transmission fluid can cause all kinds of weird electrical problems. But honestly, most of the time, the issue is either that the sensor itself has just given up or the wiring going to it is damaged. A bad computer? Yeah, it's possible, but it's really rare, so let's not even worry about that unless we've checked everything else.
And hey, here's a fantastic little pro tip for you. This sensor usually has a magnetic tip on it. So over the years, tiny little metal shavings from normal wear and tear in the transmission can get stuck to it, almost like a magnet covered in iron filings. This gun can actually block the signal. And the crazy part is, sometimes the fix is as easy as just pulling the sensor out and wiping it clean.
All right, you've got the knowledge, now you need a game plan. So this next part is all about action, a simple step-by-step guide to help you pinpoint exactly what's causing that P0720 code in your car.
It really just boils down to 3 steps. First up, step 1, just use your eyes. Do a visual check. Look at your transmission fluid. Is it low? Does it look dirty or burnt? Then find the sensor and look at its wiring. Is anything frayed, burnt, or disconnected? Step 2, if you have a basic multimeter, you can test the sensor itself. And that leads right to step 3, the most logical next move. If the fluid and wiring look good, but the sensor fails its test, well, it's time for a new one. And this brings us to what might be the most important takeaway here. Before you start stressing about a huge repair bill, just remember this. By far, the most common and most effective fix for this code is just replacing that bad sensor. And on top of that, it's usually a pretty cheap part. So, at the end of the day, what are we really doing here? Whether you end up cleaning the sensor, fixing a wire, or putting a new one in, the goal is exactly the same. You are just fixing that broken line of communication between the transmission stopwatch and the car's brain. That's all this is.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. Your car is basically a network of computers making thousands of decisions a minute based on the information they get from sensors. This P0720 code is the perfect example of what happens when that information is bad. So the real question is your car's computer getting the right info it needs to make the right decisions for you out there on the road?